I am very nervous recording this. Why am I so nervous? It's because it's like a personal thing, and I'm not used to like really talking about personal stuff. No, that's not true. I've put out personal videos before. I think this is just different. It's just different. As of the release of this video, I've already received my first dose of HRT, and by then I'll be preparing for my second. When I got the first dose, I thought it would feel like the beginning of something much bigger, like a moment to finally exhale. For a moment, there was a brief, quiet happiness, but it was fleeting. Almost immediately, it was replaced by something else: sorrow. I wasn't surprised by it, though. In a way, I had already anticipated that this could happen, that the emotion I had built up for so long might not be the fireworks I expected. It's hard to explain, but there's this sense of sadness that I didn't get here sooner, that I spent so much time delaying something I always knew I needed. And now, even with the second dose coming up, I'm still unsure about how it'll unfold. It's not about regret, but disappointment. Disappointment that this moment isn't more celebratory. I'm not where I thought I'd be, emotionally, but maybe that's part of the process too. The uncertainty is still there, but I've learned to let it be. To anyone watching this, this is a letter to myself, for the person that I will be and not the person I am right now. It's to capture who I am in this moment and to honor that forever. I'm getting like nervous hiccups going into this. Dear future tree, HRT begins soon at the end of this month. Writing this feels like bottling a moment, sealing it away for a version of me I haven't met yet. I wonder who you are. I wonder what pieces of me you'll still carry 6 months from now and which ones you'll bury. Right now, I feel like a photograph still developing, blurry and waiting for definition. There's a strange weight in this moment, like standing on a fault line, waiting for the earth to crack open beneath me. I wonder if this is courage or fear, or maybe they're the same thing. What's it like where you are? Has the world settled into something softer, or does it still hold its breath, teetering on collapse? I'm writing this as if you're an answer waiting in the future, but I don't even know if the question will matter when you read it. I hope whatever happens that you found something to hold on to. Let's take a moment to map it out, like we used to on those old roleplay forums, filling out character sheets. Name, age, pronouns. Ready? Your name is Tree. A word that once lived small in your mouth, a nickname passed like a leaf between fingers. It started as a joke, a whisper, but over time it grew roots. Now it stretches across your chest, a canopy of syllables that shelters you. 2 years you've carried it. To some, it's still just a name, just a sound. But to you, it holds every inch of your identity, wrapping itself around the parts of you you've fought so hard to uncover. Dad said he'd support you if you made it legal, but you hesitate, don't you? To take that leap feels selfish somehow, like claiming space you think you don't deserve. You've always done that. Put others' needs above your own. Let their shadows block your light. 6 months from now, are you still Tree? Or did you finally gather the courage to make it official? Even if you didn't, I hope the name still feels like home, no matter what the papers say. You're 25, born in 1999. The number feels abstract, something slippery you can't hold on to. Time has always been like that for you. Fragile, fracturing in your hands. A joke at first, wasn't it? How you could never remember your age. But now it's the truth. Do you still count the years, or have you stopped trying? Maybe it's not the numbers that matter. Maybe what matters is what you do in the time you have. You're 25, but some days you feel 10, hiding from the world's sharp edges. Other days you feel 50, too tired to lift the weight of it. Does time feel different now? Have you found a way to settle into it, or does it still rush past you like water you can't hold? If nothing else, I hope you've made peace with it. 25 is just a number after all. What you are is so much more than that. Your pronouns are they, them, or he, they, sometimes even she, her. They shift, don't they? A fluid current you've learned to float on. But there's a catch. When people switch pronouns mid-conversation, it cuts. You feel like an object in a shop window, something labeled wrong and rearranged. Maybe that's part of why you're starting HRT. To claim control. To give people a framework to hold on to, so they stop breaking you apart with their uncertainty. It's strange, isn't it? To want freedom, but also a box to fit inside. Do your pronouns feel steady now? Or is the fluidity still there? Something you've learned to embrace. I hope people speak them with care, with intention. I hope you found a way to stop apologizing for how you exist. The bathroom is still a battlefield, isn't it? A door that asks too much of you every time you approach it. Even before the dresses, strange men told you to leave the men's room. Their voices carried something darker than confusion, a threat you couldn't shake. Now the stakes feel even higher. You don't want to make women uncomfortable, but you don't want to be seen as a predator either. The headlines write themselves. Brown, effeminate boy thinks a dress makes him safe. You imagine the stares, the whispers, the way the world presses against you no matter which door you choose. What do you do now? Have you found a way to make peace with this impossible choice? Or do you still feel that knot of fear every time you turn the handle? I hope you found spaces where no one questions your right to exist. Your chest feels like a contradiction. You've lived with its flatness for so long it feels like part of your identity. But now you're ready to let it change even if it scares you. The thought of breasts feels heavy, doesn't it? Like an inevitability you're not sure how to welcome. You've read the arguments. Womanhood isn't just in the body, but in the mind, the heart. Still, you wonder, will this make you feel closer to yourself, or will it feel like losing something you never wanted to let go of? I hope you found a way to love what you see in the mirror. I hope you've let go of the fear that your body will never be enough. Your partner, he says he'll find you more attractive after a few months on hormones. Those words cut, don't they? They hang in the air somewhere between hope and heartbreak. You want to believe he loves you unconditionally, but there's a part of you that can't help but wonder, what if you're not enough now? What if love only comes after you've changed, after you've molded yourself into something else? How is your relationship now? Have you found a way to trust him, or has it shifted into something new? I hope you've learned to love yourself enough to demand love that doesn't ask you to be anything but who you are. Some days you want to live. Other days you want to die. That push and pull feels like a tide you can't escape, doesn't it? The world is so heavy. The weight sits in your chest, pressing against your lungs. You're scared of what comes next. Not just with HRT, but with everything. The politics, the fear, the way the world seems to shrink and sharpen around you. But even with that fear, you refuse to hide. You refuse to let them silence you. I hope you found a way to keep fighting, even on the days when it feels impossible. Even when the tide pulls hard and it feels like you're drowning. You're braver than you know. Don't forget that. Yours truly, me.